I'm looking for cheap thrills, and I imagine that you are too, otherwise you wouldn't be here, but don't worry, because I'm here to help you have a good time. I want to provide you with only the best frightfully delightful experiences, so if you're craving a spine-tingling affair or a heart-pounding pounding, then you've come to the right place. So grab your wallet because you're about to need it, because I have found thrills to satisfy your darkest desires. I am Lady Decade, and these are games that will make you scream and leave you breathless and begging for more. Don't you just love Morrigan? You can enjoy playing with her in all her classic Darkstalkers appearances and more. So the first good game that I'm recommending to you is the alluring Capcom Fighting Collection. Perfect for nostalgic fans, Morrigan connoisseurs and newcomers alike. This outstanding compilation brings together 10 of Capcom's most iconic arcade games into one epic and enhanced package. Featuring titles from popular series such as Street Fighter, Darkstalkers, Cyberbots and Red Earth. It promises an unparalleled gaming experience. But this spiffing selection of titles is more than just a compilation of old titles. In addition to the games, key features include online play with ranked matches, a museum with over 500 illustrations, and development materials, concept art, and over 400 music tracks from the arcade versions. Building on all of this, training modes offer various options, while display filters can replicate classic visual styles if that's what tickles your pickle. Some of these games, such as Red Earth for example, were never even available on home hardware until now, so this is the first official way we have been provided with to play some of these classics. With its blend of quality, gameplay options, and of course beautiful ladies, this collection delivers an unparalleled retro gaming experience. Whether you're revisiting old favourites or discovering them for the first time, the Capcom Fighting Collection offers an excellent mix of nostalgia and innovation, ensuring hours of enjoyment for all involved. You can use my affiliate link via my pinned comment to obtain this game with a seductive 63% discount. But if that's not for you, then maybe I can tempt you with this. Bayonetta is undoubtedly one of the finest games I've ever experienced. I have played the xylophone buggery out of this game multiple times over the years. Developed by Platinum Games and launched in 2009, this thrilling and attractive action game is celebrated for its rapid and elegant combat system, along with its unique art style and immersive cinematic presentation. The game centres on the enigmatic and striking protagonist Bayonetta, a powerful sexy witch grappling with amnesia. She faces off against a host of formidable foes, including some freaky looking angels depicted with biblical accuracy, and various other mystical creatures, all in a quest to unravel the secrets of her past and the origins of her mysterious powers. The gameplay is marked by its intricate combo-based combat system, which leverages an array of firearms which she holds in her hands but also present in the heels of her boots, and magical attacks which makes for some glorious choreography whilst decimating her foes. Stylistically, there is nothing quite like this series. A standout feature is Witch Time, a dynamic mechanic that decelerates time when Bayonetta narrowly dodges an attack, providing players with a tactical advantage to launch counterattacks. Bayonetta has garnered widespread acclaim for its challenging gameplay, inventive level design, and creatively crafted boss encounters, and it all started with this classic here. The game, much like its protagonist, is visually stunning and intricately detailed. Bayonetta herself has risen up to an iconic status, celebrated for her dazzling femininity and dynamic combat abilities. At a time when the portrayal of female video game characters often leads towards defeminization, Bayonetta stands out more than ever in the modern landscape with all her sexy, gyrating, curvaceous glory. She is proof that women in gaming can be both strong and sexy, despite Western developers' continued attempts to cater to so-called modern audiences by creating female characters who lack any visual appeal whatsoever. When presenting femininity, Western developers severely need to learn from their Eastern counterparts. Originally launched on the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360, Bayonetta was subsequently ported to additional platforms such as the PC, Nintendo Switch and Wii U, meaning you can widely still enjoy this title on modern hardware. The game's success led to the creation of several sequels, cementing Bayonetta as a major franchise in the action genre. However, if you want to enjoy this great franchise's roots, there's a lovely 85% discount on Bayonetta, dropping the price down to just $3.21. Get this bargain now via the link in my description. It's time to switch things up a bit. A Plague Tale: Innocence is an action-adventure stealth game developed by Asobo Studio and published by Focus Home Interactive. Released in 2019, this incredible game is set in 14th century France during the Black Death and follows the story of two siblings, Amicia and her younger brother Hugo, who are pursued by the Inquisition and swarms of ravenous rats that spread the deadly plague. The gameplay primarily revolves around stealth mechanics, with players needing to avoid hostile encounters due to the protagonist's vulnerability, mainly the fact that they're children. Because Hugo is much younger than his older sister Amicia, she does everything she can to keep him safe. The player controls Amicia, who must navigate through a series of increasingly dangerous environments using a combination of stealth, environmental puzzles, and a sling to throw rocks to distract, disable, or kill enemies. Over time, Amicia can craft and upgrade her abilities and ammunition, such as fire starting pots, which are essential for keeping the rats at bay. The rats in the game are a central mechanic. These horrendous creatures avoid light, creating dynamic puzzles in which Amicia must manipulate light sources to clear paths or protect herself and Hugo. The game's narrative is a strong component, focusing on the bond between the siblings as they struggle to survive against the overwhelming odds. A Plague Tale: Innocence is noted for its dark, atmospheric graphics and a story that blends historical elements with supernatural horror. The game received generally positive reviews for its story, atmosphere, and the emotional depth of its characters. You can get your plague-ridden hands on this with a 90% discount, nibbling the price down to just $4.29. How could you resist such temptation? However, you could be a man of culture and prefer something a little more like this.
Give the mortal to me, and I will ensure he is ready.
Shut your damn mouth! And don't be a sore loser!
The next game I'm going to spotlight is Resident Evil Village, the beloved survival horror game developed and published by Capcom. It was released in 2021 as the 10th main installment in the Resident Evil video game series. The game is a direct sequel to Resident Evil 7 and continues to use the first-person perspective, enhancing the immersive horror experience. The game is set in a mysterious and creepy village that gives the title its name. The story follows Ethan Winters, the protagonist from Resident Evil 7, as he searches for his kidnapped daughter. After a devastating encounter in his home, Ethan finds himself in a bizarre village under the control of 4 different mutant lords, each presiding over unique areas and presenting their own deadly challenges. Yes, that's right, everyone's favourite terrifying giant vampire dragon woman, Lady Dimitrescu, can be found right here, ready to sit on your face, step on you, crush you to death before devouring you, or whatever other depraved fantasies exist in your vulnerable little mind. Village maintains a series hallmark of tense gameplay, combining elements of action, exploration and puzzle solving, but continues the first-person perspective from 7. Like all the entries, players must manage limited resources such as ammunition and healing items to survive against the myriad terrifying creatures that inhabit the village. The game also introduces a slightly greater emphasis on combat compared to its predecessor, with more weapons and upgrades available. The game was well received through its atmospheric settings, graphics and storyline, and was praised for successfully blending traditional horror with modern action gameplay elements, making it a standout title in the series. Plus, all the simping for Lady Dimitrescu, resulting in countless memes, certainly got this title's name out there. Village builds on the lore of the Resi universe, linking back to earlier games, and sets the stage for future entries in the series. It's a key example of how Capcom continues to evolve the brand while staying true to its roots in horror and storytelling. storytelling. Both the Gold Edition and the base game are available via my affiliate link, with the Gold Edition having a snazzy 71% discount. This is a game that you could seriously bite a chunk out of. Then again, maybe you were looking for a different kind of satisfaction and crave something a little more like this. I had to sneak in something ultra amazing, and here it is. Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne is a role-playing video game developed by Atlus for the PlayStation 2. Released in Japan in 2003 and in other regions between 2004 and 2005, it is the third installment in the Shin Megami Tensei series, a central part of the larger Megami Tensei franchise. Whilst most people here in the West have only played the Persona series due to their fascination with Japanese schoolgirls, the mainline Shin Megami Tensei games are much more grown up and darker in tone. Building on previous entries in the series, the game is set in a post-apocalyptic version of Tokyo following a cataclysmic event known as the Conception, an event that transforms the world into a demon-infested wasteland. The protagonist, a high school student who becomes half demon, navigates through this new world called the Vortex World. The narrative explores themes of creation, destruction, and the battle between various philosophical ideologies. This is a massive JRPG of biblical proportion. Nocturne is distinctive for its dark and mature themes. It features highly enjoyable turn-based combat where players can exploit enemy weaknesses to gain extra turns. The game is known for its high level of difficulty and complex mechanics. A key feature that you might be familiar with from Persona is its demon fusion system, which allows players to recruit, negotiate with and fuse demons to build a versatile team adapting to various combat challenges. Something else of note is that my beloved waifu Dante from Devil May Cry makes a DLC guest appearance as a boss and then a recruitable companion in this game in a crossover not many people would expect, but a great one that certainly makes sense in so many ways. Overall, Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne is celebrated as a landmark RPG known for its challenging gameplay and the philosophical depth of its narrative. I personally think these games are much more interesting than the Persona series, but sadly do not get even close to the amount of attention. You can get it here with a 65% discount via my pinned comment. Maybe Shin Megami Tensei 3 satisfies your dark urges, but maybe I can reel you in with this one. Next up, we have something a little bit different, and by a little bit different I mean something that takes a mundane task, fishing to be exact, and makes it completely weird and eerie. Dredge is a unique single-player fishing adventure game with a dark Lovecraftian theme. Developed by Black Salt Games and developed by Team 17, it was released on the 30th of March 2023 across multiple platforms. The game blends traditional fishing mechanics with a sinister narrative, pushing players to explore a mysterious archipelago known as the Marrows. In Dredge, players captain a fishing trawler, navigating various islands and grappling with eerie occurrences and monstrous sea creatures. The game's environment is beautifully detailed, with each island offering new fish, quests and dangers. The gameplay focuses heavily on managing time and coping with panic, as these elements affect your capacity to fish and survive the horrors that emerge after dark. A distinctive aspect of Dredge is its horror elements, which includes mutated fish and other aberrations that players can catch. These features are complemented by a sound design that enhances the spooky atmosphere, particularly during nighttime fishing expeditions. The game also involves upgrading your boat and equipment, which can help mitigate some of the challenges posed by the environment and the game's darker forces. If you want to fish this one out, then it's currently on offer with a spooktacular 48% discount. If that didn't get you hook, line and sinker, then I've got this to whip out. This one is a real treat. The Castlevania Anniversary Collection brings together a remarkable assembly of classic titles from Konami's beloved Castlevania series. Crafted to celebrate Konami's 50th anniversary, this compilation offers both newcomers and devoted fans the opportunity to delve into the iconic games that have significantly shaped the action-adventure genre throughout the decades. The collection boasts an impressive lineup of titles featuring the original Castlevania, Simon's Quest, Dracula's Curse, and Super Castlevania 4. You know, the greatest Castlevania of all time, and the title beloved for its inclusion of a multi-directional whip. Further to this, in this bundle you receive the Game Boy games Bloodlines, which originally appeared on the Genesis, and the awesome yet quirky Kid Dracula, which up until this point was never released in English before. The games preserve their original graphics and sounds, maintaining the cherished nostalgic essence, yet some versions are enhanced with features like save states and the ability to rewind gameplay. These additions significantly ease the notorious difficulty of these classic games, making them more accessible and enjoyable for both veterans and newcomers alike. The collection not only celebrates the rich legacy of Castlevania, but also serves as a valuable archive of both the series and Konami's early history. It has been warmly received for its authentic reproductions of the original games, complemented by modern features that enhance playability, striking a perfect balance between preserving tradition and embracing innovation. There's currently 84% off this game, meaning you pick it up for just $3.41. That's a spine-chillingly good offer.
You don't think I can hear you?
You're gonna pull through, brother. Check it out. There's morphine in my pack. Grab it.
Next up, we have a game that plays out like an interactive movie. The Dark Pictures anthology House of Ashes is a part of a horror video game series created by Supermassive Games, known for its cinematic gameplay and emphasis on player choice. Released in 2021, it's the third installment in the Dark Pictures anthology, following Man of Medan and A Little Hope. House of Ashes is set in 2003 during the Iraq War. The story revolves around a group of American and Iraqi soldiers who, following a firefight caused by a misunderstanding, find themselves trapped beneath the ruins of a Sumerian temple. As they navigate the underground labyrinth, they encounter monstrous creatures lurking in the shadows. The game combines military and mythological horror elements, with players needing to make decisions that affect the survival of their characters and the unfolding of the narrative. Like other games in the series, House of Ashes features a branching narrative with multiple endings, depending on the choices players make throughout the game. Put it this way, you can try to save everyone or kill everyone, and this game has a huge amount of replayability as you'll want to explore all of the different choices you can make. It uses a third-person perspective and includes quick-time events and exploration elements. Players control 5 different characters at various points in the story, each with their unique perspective and decisions. The characters have evolving relationships with each other in the game, including some romantic entanglements, with your decisions affecting how well someone views another person, which will in turn affect the outcomes of the life and death situations. House of Ashes was well received for its atmosphere, storytelling, and the enhancements in player control and visual fidelity compared to its predecessors. It appeals to fans of horror and narrative-driven games, emphasizing tense atmosphere and player-driven storytelling. You can enjoy it with an 82% discount for just $5.65. Delicious. Come on, As I mentioned earlier, Dante is my waifu, and here is the Devil May Cry HD collection, which is a compilation of the first 3 games from the Devil May Cry series developed by Capcom. This collection was released to make the older games more accessible on newer gaming platforms, featuring enhanced graphics and other minor improvements to optimize them for HD displays. It features the first 3 games of the iconic action series, each distinctively contributing to the franchise's lore and gameplay evolution. The collection kicks off with the original Devil May Cry from 2001, where players meet the protagonist Dante, a demon hunter driven by the desire to avenge the deaths of his mother and brother. Renowned for its brisk, combo-driven combat and formidable challenges, this entry establishes this series' hallmark blend of gothic visuals and pulsating rock and metal soundtrack. Following this, Devil May Cry 2, released in 2003, continues Dante's saga while introducing enhanced graphics and gameplay elements. Despite these improvements, this sequel is often critiqued for its diluted difficulty and less compelling story, marking a controversial chapter in the series. Contrastingly, Devil May Cry 3 Dante's Awakening from 2005 serves as a prequel to the original game and is celebrated for refining the combat mechanics to near perfection. This installment enriches the narrative by exploring the intricate relationship and rivalry between Dante and his brother Virgil, earning accolades as one of the best in the entire series. The HD collection not only updates these classics for modern consoles with improved graphics, but also preserves the core gameplay dynamics that have solidified Devil May Cry as a foundational pillar of the action genre. It provides an excellent opportunity for fans to delve into the early adrenaline-fueled escapades of Dante's demon hunting journey. You can get it through my affiliate link with 85% off, leaving it at just $4.77. And now, for something completely different. Heavy Rain is an interactive drama and action-adventure game developed by Quantic Dream. Released initially in 2010 for the PlayStation 3, it later became available on other platforms like PlayStation 4 and Microsoft Windows. The game is known for its narrative depth and branching storylines driven by player choices. The game's plot revolves around a mystery centered on the Origami Killer, a serial killer who uses prolonged rainfall to drown his victims. The story is told from the perspective of 4 different characters, each connected to the case. Ethan Mars, a father searching for his kidnapped son; Madison Page, a journalist; Norman Jayden, an FBI profiler; and Scott Shelby, a private detective. Players interact with the game by performing actions highlighted on screen through quick-time events and making decisions that will affect the story's outcome. Heavy Rain is praised for its emotional storytelling, innovative gameplay mechanics, and the significant impact of player decisions, which can lead to multiple endings. The game was a commercial success and is often cited as a strong example of video games as an art form, pushing the boundaries of narrative and player engagement in the industry. If you would like to investigate this one for yourself, there's currently 81% off the price, leaving it at just $4.15. Bloodstained Ritual of the Night is an action-adventure game developed by Artplay and led by Koji Igarashi, a former producer of the Castlevania series. The game was released in 2019 and is considered to be a spiritual successor to the Castlevania series, particularly embracing the Metroidvania style of gameplay and RPG mechanics. Players control Miriam, an orphan scarred by an alchemist's curse, which slowly crystallizes her body. The game features a large interconnected world that players can explore freely. As they progress in typical Metroidvania style, Miriam unlocks new abilities and spells that allow her to access previously unreachable areas. The combat is action oriented, with a variety of weapons and magical shards, powers gleaned from enemies that Miriam can wield. The story revolves around Miriam's quest to stop a demonic invasion that has been summoned by her old friend and fellow orphan Gebel. This dark and gothic tale unfolds in a castle setting filled with various creatures and bosses. This particularly gorgeous game features beautifully crafted 2.5D graphics, combining 3D character models with 2D backgrounds. The aesthetic is heavily inspired by gothic horror, creating a dark and immersive atmosphere. It's celebrated for revitalizing the Metroidvania genre and providing a modern twist on classic gameplay elements. It's particularly recommended for fans of action and exploration games. You can sink your teeth into this one with 93% off, leaving it at a mere $2.92. So if you're still here, I hope I've provided you with some cheap thrills and spooktacular deals to sink your teeth into, but I do have one more thing to add. I wanted to talk about this costume I'm wearing. I've recently acquired this cosplay as well as 3 other brand new attires, which I shall be wearing on this channel to present videos in shortly. You can see each one in advance though through my behind the scenes Patreon posts, which I've made available now as I'm using Patreon to directly fund these costumes. Again, thanks for watching. I hope you find some good bargains over on Instant Gaming, and I'll see you all in the next one.